Good morning. Today we publish a white paper on immigration, a strategy absolutely central to my plan for change that will finally take back control of our borders and close the book on a squalid chapter for our politics, our economy and our country.
Keir Starmer has just announced a potentially very significant package of reforms to the legal migration system. Of course, it comes against the backdrop of, over the past few years, immigration to the UK soaring. A couple of years ago, we had those shocking numbers, 1 million people coming from the rest of the world to the UK, an all-time record. It also comes against the backdrop in which the unpopularity with millions of British people of the change in the British population, the large numbers of people coming here, has changed political allegiances. It's probably the biggest factor behind the surge in popularity of reform. Now, in most opinion polls, the most popular party in the UK. So for the Prime Minister, it's been an imperative to address this issue. Interestingly, when I said to him, particularly when it comes to really talented overseas people, attracting them to the UK would be thought by almost every economist as a good thing because they help the sort of high value businesses, the fast growing businesses that we need to create prosperity, to create growth. It helps them to expand.
On the growth question, I do think this is worth taking some time on because the theory that higher migration numbers necessarily leads to higher growth has been tested in the last 4 years. So we've had the highest net migration when the last government lost control to nearly 1 million and stagnant growth. And so that link doesn't hold on that evidence. The second thing is that this white paper is not just a white paper on immigration, it's also a white paper that deals with skills and training. And one of the reasons that we've had stagnant growth, in my view, for years, is because we've underinvested chronically in skills and growth. So by putting skills and growth into the same plan as migration, which is something businesses have been asking for years, you actually answer the growth question as well. And I should say, as a footnote to that, as you heard in the speech and you'll see in the white paper, in relation to high talent, where we want the very best into the country, we will have routes to get that talent into this country. And I think there's real potential for us to do so in the current environment, and we intend to do so.
He said two things in response to that. Secondly, within these reforms, they are not, if they can possibly help it, going to penalise those with the highest skills, although to be clear, one aspect of all of this that I think will deter those with high skills from coming here is they will now, unless they can somehow prove they're making an amazing contribution to Britain, they'll have to live here for 10 years before they can even think about applying for citizenship. That's twice as long as you would have to live in America to apply for citizenship. And America, obviously, in many ways, a much more successful economy than ours. So some would say it's sort of, well, as I said to him, maybe he's shooting himself in the foot by, in a sense, doubling that residence requirement for the UK. But the most striking thing that he said in response to my question is he believes that what economists have traditionally believed, which is that there's a very clear link between immigration and growth, he believes that link has been exposed as false because over the last few years we have had very high immigration numbers in the UK, but stagnating growth. Around all of this, though, the reforms such that, now you will have to have a degree to come into the UK. Typically, people without a degree will find it much harder. There are going to be stricter language tests. Dependents of people wanting to come to the UK will have to prove that they can speak English. He made this statement that people had to prove that they wanted to integrate in British society to come here. These feel like not just big economic changes, but big changes to almost a culture of the Labour Party, broadly saying to the Labour Party that although sort of multiculturalism, many Labour Party supporters would say has been a good thing, more important, he would say, is a desire among those who wanted to come here to become, on his definition, enthusiastic British people, enthusiasts for both our language and culture. So this will be controversial among his supporters. But the biggest test of all, politically, whether people are in favour of immigration or not, there is no question that the immigration debate is driving British politics. He has determined that his success in government will to a large extent be determined by whether he gets immigration numbers down. To be frank, most of what he has announced would suggest to me that he will get immigration numbers down by tens of thousands. Whether it will lead to significant enough reductions to persuade British people that, in a sense, the government is now in control, I would say only time will tell.